Okay, this is going to be a simple guide to Zhezhi. If you're anything like me, you'll take a look at her kit, you'll go to Forte circuit, and just like Zhezhi, you'll be like, you don't want to be reading all that. So I'm going to be your guy. I'm going to try and dumb it down for you. It's going to be very easy. So I first want to talk about exactly what she does. Well, she does damage, and she does off-field damage. Yeah, that's what she does. No, I'm not completely wrong. There's nuance to that. I'll be more specific. So her Forte circuit and resonance skill allow her to put off some very good personal damage. As for her liberation, her ult, this allows her to do off-field coordinated attacks, which is very awesome. Off-field damage is always good in my opinion. As for her supporting capabilities, she does have those. She likes to help her friends out. Her outro skill allows the incoming resonator to have glacio damage amplified by 20%, and it also amplifies resonant skill damage by 25%. So very good. Lasts for 14 seconds. And her other passive is very useful too, because it also restores 15 energy to the incoming resonator after using outro skill. So very, very useful. So let's go ahead and get into her playstyle, because trust me, it is a lot simpler than what it looks. Okay, she has 3 gauges for her Forte. I'm gonna go ahead and fill them up because I think it's the most ideal for the most damage. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill it up real quick. It is now filled. So right now what's on the screen is going to be, in my opinion, the most ideal combo that you're going to use. It's going to be skill, basic, skill. So what that entails is using a skill, we'll place 2 cranes, 2 bird things that will allow you to teleport to it, and pressing a basic right after that will put a third bird down. Another thing to take note is that there's 2 ways of doing this too. If you hold the skill, you'll put the cranes and birds in the air rather than on the ground. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And if you just press it, obviously it's just gonna be on the ground. So I'm gonna hold real quick to place them in the air. Alright, there you go. The 2 crane birds, they're over there. I didn't do a basic attack afterwards, so I'm just gonna go in the air and do a heavy attack, which will put a crane there. Then I can press E to teleport, right there. So let me get my gauge back up so I could show you again more smoothly. Alright, holding, basic, alright, teleport, very simple. And yeah, once again, I think doing all 3 is ideal and necessary because it helps her do the most damage herself. So yeah, that's essentially how her basic Forte circuit works. Again, that is the most ideal combo in my opinion to do the most damage. It is all considered basic attack damage, by the way, so we'll get into that in a little bit. As for her ult, just like I said, it lasts for 30 seconds and it does off-field coordinated attacks. So I'll show you what that looks like right now. Boom. That is cast. Now if I switch to a character, you can see these birds come down attacking my enemies. Very cool, very cool. Another thing I want to show you is some quick swap things that you can try and do if you want to. So we'll go ahead and get our teleport things. Alright. Now as soon as I teleport, I swap to a character, right? Obviously it's not going to be the best because I'm not... These aren't near the freaking goddamn guy. He's all the way over there. Here, let me show that again. There we go. Now we swap. Obviously you want to do it way better than I did. Yeah, I mean, essentially like that. I suck at it, but you can make it work. Not the best showcase, but yeah. And obviously, depending on your echo, you do want to use it before you do anything. So for this trial Zhezhi, she has the cryo echo, the cryo guy. Use that before anything else because it boosts her glacio damage, so that'll be useful. For other echoes like Impermanence Heron, if you're using the Moonlit set, obviously you're going to have to time that well in coordination with her outro skill to help boost the next Resonator's damage. And Bellborn, just use that for whatever. So let's get into her build now, since we are talking about echoes. So obviously here, the Glacio set, very good, especially for her own damage. Essentially, you want this if you want her to do more damage herself. The other set you could use is Moonlit Glow, obviously. It's the support set, and it works very well with this character. It'll help boost the other character's damage. Very useful. As for stats, of course, the main stat here, it's going to be crit based on what you want, most likely crit rate. As for everything else, I can see the argument for energy recharge for one of the 3 costs, and then glacial damage for the other one. So you could do either both glacio, or one of them is going to be energy. The last 2 are going to be attack, obviously. As for substats, you are going to want basic attack damage if you can get that, because just like I said earlier, her forte circuit stuff is all considered basic attack damage, so that'll be very, very useful. As far as ult, it is also considered basic attack damage, so don't go for liberation damage or anything like that. It's not going to help. Try and get basic attack damage for substats, and then obviously crit and energy will be very nice as well. So yeah, as for her weapon, her signature is obviously going to be the best for her. It increases basic attack damage and, you know, just a lot of damage bonus in this. It also has a shit ton of crit. So obviously it's very good, but most of us are probably not going to pull this weapon. So what is the next best things? Over here on Pridewin, we have the 5-star standard weapon. So if you still are holding on to that 5-star weapon selector, you could get this. And the reason why is because it increases basic attack damage by 3.2%, stacking up to 5 times, which is a 16% bonus. Pretty significant if you ask me. It also gives you 12.8% energy regen. Its main stat is attack. Overall, I think it's a very good weapon. You could also do Yinlin's signature weapon if you manage to pull that one. Its substats just basically give you attack, damage bonus, and when you're not on field, it increases your attack further by 12%. I think that one's very good, but let's move on to the more free-to-play friendly 4-star, 3-star options. Variation, okay? This will give you energy regen for its main stat, but also states upon casting skill, it restores your concerto energy by 8, and depending on how many copies you have on this weapon, you're going to have more concerto energy. That essentially allows you to get your outro skill a lot more efficiently. Overall, this one is pretty good. Another one you could do is Jinzo Keeper. It just boosts your attack when you use the intro skill. Nothing crazy. Those are basically the 2 4-star ones that I think are the best. As for 3 stars, you got Guardian Rectifier. It increases basic attack and heavy attack damage bonus by 12%. Depending on how many copies you have on this, it's going to be a lot more. So this honestly might not be a bad budget one, to be honest. This might actually be cracked secretly. The main stats also attack. Very good. You could use those options. As for teams, anybody who likes their resident skill a lot would be very great to put with her. Jinxie, of course, Chongli, possibly Calcharo, Shangli Yao when it comes out. Another character you can obviously use is Sanhua, because she's a Glacio character, so she'll benefit greatly from Zhezhi. The one lion guy too could benefit as well. I think no matter what, she's definitely a great character because of that off-field damage and stuff. As for the process of leveling up her forte, I always recommend going for these guaranteed passives first. And then as for the ones down here, Liberation and Forte Circuit are probably the ones you want to focus on first. And then you could do the skill and normal attack whenever the hell you want, right? The same goes for the intro skill as well. Honestly, intro skill personally would probably come last. And then you do everything else when you want. Yeah, that is pretty much all there is to talk about her. So yeah, she's not too hard, to be honest, and she seems very fun. The movement is crazy because of the teleportation. I think it's definitely something unique. I personally am not pulling her, but for those who are, I wish you luck, and hopefully you did have luck already if you already did pull her. She's a great character. I see a lot of potential. Let me know if this video was useful or not. If you have any questions down below, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.